And welcome to another California Guy video with your boy California Guy. What's up, everybody, and welcome to this video. This video is about a black man that was found dead the other day in Sacramento County Jail. I'm here to do this video about black men incarcerated but mysteriously dying, or no aid is being brought to black men. And the other day I was looking at the news to kind of start this video off. I was watching the news on Sunday night, and it was a black man by the name of Edward Currie, 31 years old, found dead up in the jail medical bay. It was reported through the Sacramento media. If you guys want to check it out, I think I'll post some links. But this is like the fourth or fifth case in the Sacramento jails and jails across the country where a black man is not receiving aid up in the jail. Now the family is saying to wait for a a autopsy. They're saying to wait for an autopsy for his body to see what happened. They called in internal affairs, homicide, and other divisions, but you know how it is in the jail in the county. They lie. They tend to lie, so I don't expect too much to come out of this. But they say that he died from seizures. Now, I have a theory. I think that the police and the corrections officers are very racist in the jail system. They're very racist, so they tend to not want to give you your medicines. There's been cases where black men have had high blood pressure and they didn't want to give them the blood pressure pills on time. There's been cases where black men had diabetes. They let them go into diabetic shock if they don't do proper checks up in the jail. And so that was the thing with this brother, Edward Currie, that was up in jail. And the media made it a point to point out that he was a drug dealer. They made it a point to say that he was committing crimes and all that stuff. They gave a thick profile of what this man was doing to get arrested. And I'm like, okay, we get the picture. He's already in jail, so we didn't really need a blow-by-blow of what this man was doing prior to him getting arrested. But the mainstream media, white media, made it a point to point this out about this man being found dead up in his jail cell. And they determined today that it was through seizures. Now, I'm like, this is bullshit. You know, every time black men is locked up in jail, you don't want to give them the proper medical attention that they deserve. And like I said, I've seen cases where, you know, black men and black women have not got proper care. They didn't get proper care. Look at Sandra Bland, for example. Sandra Bland was healthy. She had no signs of mental there was no signs of her having mental problems. She was coming to Texas to look for a job. And, you know, because she blew smoke into a cop's face, hours later, she's dead. She's committed suicide supposedly committed suicide up in the jail. And then they said she had a history of mental abuse. So you get that every time a black person goes to jail, we become a victim. They don't give the proper care. And then you have to have 50 million investigations to why the brothers and sisters get murdered in jail. And so I'm asking the question, when does this stuff stop? I think that we need an overseer. I'm hoping that, you know, whoever's president next, hopefully it's a Democrat, but that they put somebody in place like a czar or somebody like that to oversee the jail systems, to oversee police, but mainly the jails. We need a czar to see if there are black people being treated inappropriately right in the justice system. And again, you've seen it with Sandra Bland. Sandra Bland, they said she had mental problems and they ruled it as a suicide. You know, you've seen the photos and they said that she was crazy, but her family says she wasn't crazy. Her video says she wasn't crazy. So it's the same thing with this brother Edward Currie, who was found dead the other day. up in his up in jail. Then they say they have seizures, and they just didn't respond to him in the proper manner. And I hope that the family sues the police department, because we're tired of you know the justice system ignoring African American people in this country. So I thought to put this out there. Hopefully, you guys could go check out what's going on with Edward Currie. Maybe other people could make videos on it to kind of make it go viral. Peace out.